in fact, the Hungry Ghost Festival, or the 7th month, it links back, to the origins of it, which is called Ulambana. Ulambana is actually a Buddhist festival. It is actually a Mahayana sutra. So the Mahayana sutras all of them are post-canonical, meaning that they are actually written after the Buddha has passed away for about 500 years. All right. However, you can trace there's another sutta in fact in the Pali canon itself. I think it's called the Peta Watu. Peta basically means the hungry ghost. They have these records as well, but they are post-canonical as well, because the Peta Watu was written about 200 to 300 years after the Buddha's final nirvana, which is the Buddha's passing away. So in the story, since not a lot of people are aware of Peta Watu, so we just go to Ulambana. So the story comes along that Mahamoggallana, which is like the Buddha's left-hand disciple, who is the foremost in psychic powers. He meditated, and then he tried to look for his parents who were deceased, and he found out that they were in hell. So he asked the Buddha how can he liberate his parents, and the Buddha told him that he should offer alms to the Sangha. So the Chinese have these 4 words, Mu Lian Jiu Mu. It means Mahamoggallana saving his mother. So it's really about filial piety, that you offer alms to the Sangha. But why do you offer alms to the Sangha? You offer alms to the Sangha because it's about generating merits. So hell beings in themselves, it's very hard for them to cultivate any kind of merits or even a wholesome thought, because hell is a place of torture and suffering. Like every single moment they're being tortured and they're suffering because of the unwholesome karma that they've produced. So it's very hard for them to think about a wholesome thought, because they're just thinking about freeing themselves from those physical suffering that they're feeling, like so much pain. It is terrible. There's actually in one of the Buddha's past life, in the Jataka tales, the Buddha is written that the Buddha recalled that he was in hell. He was a hell being like thousands of lifetimes before. And then all of a sudden, he was pushing like a barrel with another being, another hell being, and they were being whipped. So there was a lot of suffering. And when the Buddha looked at his partner, all of a sudden he came out with a compassionate thought that he just wishes that his friend will be free from suffering. And because of that thought, immediately he was reborn. He left hell immediately. So it is just turning the mind. It's like how we can feel, people who are feeling very depressed, very anger, you're being consumed, it just feels like hell in you. You're just going through hell at the moment. So hell beings, they hold on to that thought and they project a hell for them, and it just goes on and on. However, we have to understand that there is actually no way to open hell. Hell exists in another planetary system. All right, so there's no portal for them to come out and to free themselves. In Buddhist cosmology, hell is called the Naraka. It's one of the realms. And the hungry ghost realm is actually called the Peta realm, or in Sanskrit, Preta, P-E. Yeah, thanks, Jai. Therefore, the hungry ghost realm, the hungry ghost is actually all around us all the time, not just during the lunar month. All right. And in the Ulambana Sutra, it's mentioned that you make offerings on the 15th day, which is the full moon of the 7th month. You offer alms. But during the Buddha's time, there's no such thing as the 7th month. As you know, in India, every month is based on a planet, or it's nothing to do with the 7th month. So I have no idea how these two merged together and why it only existed in East Asia. But as some of you have shared, it's a wonderful time for us to remember that to let go of selfishness, to know that there are beings around us, not just beings around us, but there are people around us. Is to train ourselves to not be so self-absorbed and to do some acts of kindness for things that we can't see. However, nowadays, a lot of people are doing it out of fear. like please protect me. It feels like a petition. I offer these things to the hungry ghosts, protect me, grant me success, allow me to strike lottery. It becomes a kind of an exchange, right? That the compassionate values in people might not be there anymore. So why is it that in the Eastern region, during the 7th month, the 7th lunar month, why are there accidents? Most of the time, there are a lot of accidents that do happen. Number one, if you look at it from a psychological point of view, that is fear. People are feeling fearful, you just tense up, uptight, and as we know, fear generates the outcome. You're not truly mindful, you don't have that much clarity anymore. And the other thing is, like one of you have shared, it's a collective consciousness. And since everyone here is part of Chintamani, you're all Chintamani graduates, you know that your consciousness itself is the universe. So with so many people focusing that, oh, the hell gates are open, right? What are we going to attract? We want to attract the hell beings. We just attract more and more hungry ghosts to come, and they are being controlled by our minds. And that's why people who are into shamanism or into black magic, it's so easy to control the spirits. Because they are very feeble in their minds. It's very easy, to just control the spirits. So there's a lot of them, they're not being projected by us, but they are being influenced by our minds. And it is time where everyone is just thinking about the spirits being scary, and all. No one is there to liberate the spirits or to offer any merits. Of course, they'll be swamped. And there are Buddhist Mahayanist prayers that can be done, which is done usually in the Chinese monasteries. So these are actually formulas being formulated, whereby there's a lot of tantric visualizations as well. In fact, it's actually practiced every day in the monasteries, not at home. They call it the Mong San. So Mong San, when they practice it every day, they will chant the Amitabha Sutra, they will chant some repentance text, and then just start to think collectively of interbeing, of there being unseen beings around them. Because you see, in the Peta realm, the hungry ghost realm, they actually cannot eat at all. They have big bellies and very tiny gullets that's as thin as a needle. And the moment they open their mouth, they'll spit fire. The fires will come out and they'll burn the food. And that's what Mahamoggallana saw, with his third eye, that beings can't eat. And therefore, actually, there's no point trying to offer food during the 7th month, right? And in order to liberate them in the Chinese Mahayana prayers, there are visualizations and there are different kinds of mantras. There are this idea of opening the hell gates, with certain mudras that's being performed, and then ushering all the spirits. So basically, they are actually getting all the hungry ghosts to come. And then there will be some grains of rice, and they'll take the grains of rice, they will write something. I can't tell you what is being written, and then they will shoot it out. Okay? So the grains of rice, it has to be visualized. There from 1 grain, it becomes 7 grains, and from 7 grains, it becomes 49. And then to the power of 7, to the power of 7, to the power of 7, until it becomes an entire mountain of rice. It's cooked rice. But again, the hungry ghosts cannot eat it at all. So then they have to infuse the mantras and their own cultivated wisdom and insights of the Dharma into the entire mountain of rice. That it becomes Dharma. It's magical rice. So it is to trick the hungry ghosts to come and see there's a lot of food. You can feed, you can feast. But it actually contains the Dharma. So it actually requires a real cultivator to conduct that ritual. And then there is the Amrita as well that can be infused with the mantra. And there is even mantras to open up the windpipes, the gullets of the hungry ghosts. And with the Amrita is to douse the flames in their throats. Otherwise, they will burn the rice. And then after that, the hungry ghosts will come and eat. And immediately after they consume the rice, more mantras being recited, and then they can get liberated. It is very complex. And these days, in a lot of monasteries, not everyone is a cultivator anymore. So when they do these kind of rituals, it may not help at all. There are cases like this before, people who have, we call it the yin-yang eyes, which is different from the third eye. The yin-yang eye can see spirits, right? The third eye is the heavenly eye where you can see the gods, right? It's different. So there are reports that when they go to these monasteries and they do this Mongshan ceremony, which is what I just shared with you earlier on. There's one more thing called the Great Mongshan ceremony. They even cordon off an area, for the spirits to come, right? And sometimes when the spirits get ushered in, the spirits have no idea what to do because no one is actually a cultivator. You need to recite the mantras, you need to perform the mudras, you need to do the visualizations, and you need to hold all the spirits, and then you need them to consume the rice. Right? So many things going on. You have to multitask. And the master of ceremony has to do that. And usually the master of ceremony does not do the mantras. The other people in the congregation, they will recite the mantras. And because it's not actually being cultivated, spirits come, they have no freaking idea what to do. And it's always a mess. And it's a sad thing to see. The spirits are usually confused. They're just they're just stuck there. They have no idea what to do. Right. So this just points out that it's actually through our metta, our compassion, our understanding of emptiness, of what Dharma is. And that's how we can actually liberate beings. And of course, with everyone thinking that there's a lot of spirits, there's a lot of ghosts, everyone performing their own kind of rituals, be it Buddhists or Taoists, ushering the spirits in, burning the joss paper to them, it does not liberate them at all. Right? So the spirits are being caught in, but they do not know how to be sent off at all. So it's a sad thing, and that's why the energies will shift. Especially in East Asia, accidents happen, coupled with our own fear. So it actually all comes from one word, avijja. Avijja, which can be translated as ignorance or confusion, basically. But then, why is it that why sometimes the entire, the whole world, different parts of the world that may not have this concept of the hungry ghost, but how come sometimes bad things happen during the month as well? Because according to Chinese astrology, the 7th month is the beginning of the new year. So it actually starts to shift on the 7th month. You start to shift into a new astrological year, the next. And that's why you may notice changes in your life. So if it was not a good year for your zodiac sign in this year, so-called 2020, as you enter the lunar month, you check it, it might shift into something more pleasant. Yep. So you don't actually wait till the next year. So that is why. And in the hungry ghost realm, there's actually no trade. So burning paper money, it does not help them at all. So the food they can't consume, and it's through merits. And why merits? Because merits is the only way, for them to get liberated. They can't cultivate merits. So it requires us, the living people, to do good, and then to just send our merits to the unseen beings, with great compassion. With these merits that can be shared, it's how they can be liberated. They can seek a better rebirth. And we are the only ones that are capable of cultivating. And this is also a time for us to reflect on the seed of the hungry ghost within us and within every being. How to get reborn in the hungry ghost realm. And that is if you're just greedy, never full, insatiable hunger for recognition, for status, for power, for money, coveting what others have. This is the seed the energy of the hungry ghost. And people get reborn in that realm because when they were humans, that's the energy they were riding on. Forever unable to satisfy their hunger. And that's why they're born in such a pitiful state whereby they can't consume. They just go on being hungry. Feelings of inadequacy as well. People tend to chase after things, be greedy, sometimes because they have insecurities within themselves. They hoard on to their wealth, not wanting to share it, thinking that I don't have enough. Thinking I'm poor, I can't survive and all that. Being a miser and not being generous. These are all the seed of the hungry ghost within people. We don't have to wait till we see a real paper to recognize that. You can just look around us, or maybe look back, during your early days. Maybe you may have that seed, maybe you don't, right? And that's why contentment is something very important. Since everyone here is a meditator, according to the sutras, contentment is actually a prerequisite for samadhi. When you're contented, you don't have desires at a point of time. That's why we want to be grateful for things. When you're grateful, you're happy, it's as though you're in the heavenly realms, right? So Parami is very good. What about ancestors who are not in hell? This is one thing that I like. Thank you for the question. In fact, the truth is not all our ancestors are being born in hell, right? They are cultivated good, they could have gone up to heaven or being reborn as a human being. But in Asia, we have this mentality that everyone that dies will have to go to hell, no matter what. And it was something that I could not grapple with, I couldn't accept. No matter how virtuous a person is, person goes to hell, and it doesn't make sense. And that's why a lot of Taoist rituals, funeral wake rituals, it's very scary. You have to cross the bridge of, to get to hell and everything, then bribe the hell lords and everything, and it doesn't make sense at all. All right, I think we are not bribing the hell lords, we are bribing the Taoist priests, to put money into their pockets. I got to be honest. And since when was this incense paper being invented? Now someone has shared there's actually incense mask, paper mask. In the past, I saw like paper OCBC as well. You can burn the entire bank. And then I like to ask people, if there's people who believe in this, it's like, if your life sucks, then why don't you just die and go to hell and get people to burn you the entire bank, Probably need to burn you the land lease as well. All right. Yeah, so not all ancestors are being born in hell. No. Not everyone will be born in hell. All right. Not everyone will become a hungry ghost as well. And in the Hungry Ghost Festival, since I've covered why all these energies are there. So it's really about allowing us to simply reflect. But we don't judge what other people are doing. As long as they can find peace and solace by doing those rituals, why not? There's another thing that we say, that what is really unwholesome karma? Unwholesome karma is when you bring out suffering in someone's mind. Meaning that someone could be just burning and just feeling that, oh, I'm burning, I don't have to fear anymore. I burn, I help the ghosts and they'll protect me. They're finding peace, right, at a point of time. But if you were to go there and say, hey, do you know it's not going to work? It doesn't work that way. What are you doing? You're putting fear into the person's mind. You're putting unrest, unease, right? So that is generating bad karma in itself. And you become the hungry ghost, for them, to scare them, the scary beings. So I like to see it as a remembrance. It's a time to, like Parmi has brought up, the word ancestors. I have a backup. Yeah. Okay. So it is actually a time for us to remember those who have come before us, not just our ancestors, but our land ancestors as well. Whether it's a ghost or it's a deva, a god, it doesn't matter. It's to respect the lands and to know that whatever we're enjoying now, all the luxuries, the peace, the safety, was built through hardship of people in the past. We want to honor them. Whoever they may be, whichever realm they belong to, it doesn't matter. But most important of all is to see that we're not separate. Our happiness is not separate. And since we have this opportunity right now to live in a modern society, we can have a lot of moments to do good, cultivate good. Just look around you right now, We're not living in the open, we're not living in caves. We're not living in under thatched roofs. We're very protected, we're very guarded. And if you do burn the paper, right, I feel that it is a good practice. It's not going to liberate them, but why is it a good practice? Or you do any kind of ancestral offering, because you're sticking closer to the culture of your family. To get in touch, with that dedication to make those offerings or perform those rituals that perhaps your grandparents were performing. They do it with a lot of sincerity. You want to get in touch with that sincerity, and also to remember your own cultural roots, regardless of what race or religion your family were from. And one thing that you can add while doing that is to put your heart into it. While you're burning, just Namo Sigato, Namo Sigato, Namo Sigato. Remember in Chintamani, you can infuse everything, right? Namo Sigato. And you know what Namo Sigato is. Even if you do not know what Namo Sigato is, doesn't matter. Just Namo Sigato, Namo Sigato. And after that, just offer the lotus, Namo Sigato, Namo Sigato, Namo Sigato. Well, where it's burned, everything just transmutes into Namo Sigato, into the air, and just spreads around. That's about all, that we do. And then we cultivate ourselves daily. Take this 1 month, to focus on your practice. It coincides with the rains retreat, the vasa, of what the monastics are practicing. The 3 months since ancient India, every spiritual tradition, they'll do that. They'll become more reclusive at a point of time. So because it's a rainy season, from July to October, they don't want to harm the plants, they don't want to harm the crops. This was even before the Buddha. The Buddha carried on this culture. It's part of his culture. So we can take this 1 month. We're not monastics, so take this 1 month to just simply reflect, practice more. And why is it that offering merits, on behalf of these, the departed ones, wherever they are, why is it so great to offer it to the Sangha, to the monastics? Because without the generations of monastics, we wouldn't be sharing this today. It's not DK sitting here sharing with you his wisdom, no. Before DK, I was called Hendrik, I was a party boy. Right? But it's thanks to, the very beautiful Sangha tradition that I was practicing. That's why I'm here today, and life has changed for me. And I believe it has changed for a lot of you too. Therefore, when we make offerings, alms to the Sangha, we're allowing them to not be bothered about finances. We're allowing them to have that energy to live longer and to practice. So they don't have to go and farm, they don't have to go and cook. This is why it is very meritorious. And for this puja and the next, I've already set my mind to set aside donations. We will be offering to Plum Village. Because they were asking for funds for their livelihood. Right, 600 monastics. One person doing it might not be able to do a lot, but collectively, by collating the funds, it's a lot more. We can just support them. And when they practice, what are they doing? It's spreading the teachings. If more people get in touch with the teachings, more people sharing merits, more spirits being liberated. Isn't it very easy? Just offer a bowl of rice and that's it. And because okay, so I hope this answers most of you, of how we can be practicing. So let's just take this opportunity to just get into a short meditation to simply reflect. Just coming back to yourself with your mindful breaths. Allowing your breathing to be deeper and slower. Filling up your abdomen as you inhale, and allowing your abdomen to fall back in as you exhale. Feeling centered by your mindful breaths. And with each in-breath, you recognize your presence in the center of the universe. And with each out-breath, you expand yourself into the entire cosmos that is boundless. You recognize that you are not alone. There are other people, other beings. Some are mindful, some ignorant. But you can still feel centered by your mindfulness, your breathing, a place of peace, wisdom, and awareness.
And there is always a space between you and everything else. And in that space, you can place the energy of loving kindness and compassion. May all beings be well. May all be safe. And breathing deeply into yourself as you inhale, onto this island of mindfulness, your safest refuge. And breathing out, recognizing the luxury and safety of the current world. The hardship of our ancestors. Just expressing your gratitude to both your blood and your land ancestors. The reason you're alive and breathing in comfort is thanks to your ancestors that has provided you with these wonderful conditions. They have given you peace and happiness. Accept it and invite all of them to meditate with you. All of your ancestors to take on your meditation posture and to breathe in mindfulness and understanding. As you practice, they practice, and as they practice, you practice. My dear ancestors, I am grateful for you. I thank you for providing us with these wonderful conditions to be happy, to be safe. And these wonderful conditions have led me to the cultivation of the noble Dharma that can increase our collective wisdom, understanding, and insight, that can propel us to live with kindness and compassion. Without you, I will not be where I am today in both my material and spiritual success. Therefore, I thank you. And please, 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 recognize that we are not separate. I continue in your light and in your name. So practice together with me. Wherever you are, whoever you are. Cultivate together with me the breath of the saints, of the Buddhas, of the noble teachings of the entire Sangha and Bodhisattvas, and the virtuous actions, virtuous teachings of the higher gods. They are a part of me, just like how I am a part of you. There is no separation. In this practice, we are guarded, we are protected from the mindless energies of others who may not be aware. Therefore, I dedicate my merits and my practice to you, that you will be guarded, you will be liberated. Even if others were to call upon you, you will not be affected, for I am imprinting my Dharma seal into you, the Dhamma Lakkhana. Thus, open your hearts to receive the blessings and the practice. With light flowing everywhere, may all be liberated. And thus I shall recite the Buddha's words. Let there be no separation between the chanter and the listener. In oneness, in interbeing. We shall proceed thus. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Iti piso bhagavang arahang samma sambuddho bija jarana sambanno sukado lokavido anganondarum purisa dhamma sarati sada deva manunsanang buddhum bhagavati savagado bhagavata dhammo sandirigo angaligo ingibasigo umbanaiko bhajana Vinidabo vinyung idu Subaribanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ujubaribanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Yaya Baribanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Saminji Baribanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Yadidam Jata Vipurisa Yugani Ngada Purisa Bukalangi Savagavadu Savaka Sangho Angunayo Bangunayo Daginayo Anjali Galaniyo Anundaram Punyagi Danglugasanding Budang saranang gajami dhammang saranang gajami sanghang saranang gajami dudiyambi buddha saranang gajami dudiyambi dhammang saranang gajami dudiyambi sangha saranang gajami dadiyambi buddhang saranang gajami dadiyambi dhamma Saranang gajami dadiyambi sanghang saranang gajami. With the offering of lights, collectively we offer our merits, our hearts, and our practice. May all be infused. We offer it to the triple gems. To dispel all darkness, diseases, fear, and ignorance, so that more beings will wake up to their true nature, to their enlightened nature, the bodhicitta, to be free from all obstacles, ill will, harm, and danger, and to resonate with the protective energies of the Dharma. Performing the 1,000 Arms Mudra, we shall recite the Buddha's words of loving kindness. May our spiritual ancestors come to our aid, to flow through us in their wisdom and their cultivated merits, in all virtuousness, as we recite, as we listen. May our blood ancestors and the ancestors of the land, and all those who have come before, may they be liberated. May they vibrate together in this loving kindness, in this practice. To let go of their ill will, to let go of their feelings of lack, to let go of their fears and delusions, and burst into light across space-time. Rani amanda kusali na yang dang sang dang badang abisami jasa gung uju jasu uju jasu ajo jasa mudu anandi mani sandu saku jasu baru nyang abagi jo jasa lam gang udi sandin priyo Jani bagong jang abaga buguli suananu kito na jakudang samajari kinji yen na winyo pari ubawade yung sukino wa keminong hundu sabi sada pawandu sukita da yegi jipana buddha didasa wada warawang anawasisa Ikawa ye manganda wa manjimara sakang anugadula Timdawa ye jangadita ye jadure wa sandi avidure buddhawa
Sambhavi siva sabi sada bhavantu sukhita dana varu varang nigubi dana diman yeda gata jinang ginjibaya rosana badika sanya nanya manya sadugami Caya madaya dani yang budang ayusang ega budamanuramke Ewang bisa babudi sumana sambhava yenga parimana Medan jasa baluga saming mana sambhava yenga parimanang udang nado jadiriya Jasang badang avirang asapadang didang jarang nisino vasayam nuva Yavada savigada midung idang sading adidaya brahma midang vingarang idama Udidin janu bhagama silavada sanena sambanna Kami suvinaya kedang naija duka vasayang munaridi
With all hearts connected, consciousness and universe becoming one, restoring to oneness. Breathing deeply into this heart of consciousness. Recite the word Samadhi one time. Metta. Shunyata. Emptiness. Namo Sigato. Non-stop. And see light and lotuses blasting throughout. Imprinting the Dhamma Lakshana to protect all beings. And now visualize Dhamma wheels spinning, golden Dhamma wheels spinning everywhere. Through our practice and our light. Sambudena 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 kana 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 mahamita 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 kana kana kumba kada kada kita kana kana sene kana 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 humba kana kada kada kasa de kada kasa de kada kada humba kana 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 humba kata kala kasa de kita kalau humba ka humba ka humba ka kunni kana kono kono kumba kana 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 sene kana 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 sene kana kalau kapa kata kita kada kasa de kada kasa de kada kana 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 sende Kapakasiti nakati giling ng ganangan ng nanganunong mga nanganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangananganangan hum mani padme hum mani padme hum mani padme hum. Whatever is sent out is part of your consciousness. A part of the universe lights up, your mind lights up, you light up. The Dhamma Lakshana, the Dhamma seals you've imprinted, is imprinted in your consciousness. There is no separation. Serving others is boosting oneself. Serving others is protecting oneself and blessing oneself. Noble community, recite after me. Verbalize it. Iti piso Namo Buddhaya Sampanno Gambira Sampo Sampo. Recite your full name. Iti piso Namo Buddhaya Sampanno Gambira Sampo Sampo Panchen. Full name. Iti piso Namo Buddhaya Sampanno Gambira Sampo Sampo. Kitten kandegi nanenge naganjinegi negan nagasindigi negen nogorogo hummagananjinega naganenge naganenge naganamanganenge negen sindigi negroko hummagasiti. Having blessed all beings, including oneself, the seen and the unseen, those born and those yet to be born, those near or far away, having protected them with loving kindness, with Dharma. Now allow all Dhamma wheels to spin, radiating light, all lotuses to transform their petals, to multiply, so that may all paths of the past, present, or future be transmuted and reveal the Dhamma Dhatu, that all phenomena is simply Dhamma. Nitaya bhikkhave cedo vimundiyang asevidaya bhavidaya bahuli gadaya yani gadaya vadu gadaya anundidaya parijitaya susamara tayang ekadasa nisang sabadi ganga gadaming ekadasa sukang subadi sukang paribhujati nabhavagang subinang basadi manunsanang biyo Horiya manusanang biyong hodi dewadam rakangdina sangagi wa visangwa sadang wa gamadidu adang jidang samadiyalimu gawanong vipasidariya sammunlo kalang karuding undaring abadi vijandu brahmalugung bago Hodi midaya bhikkhave cedo vimundiyang asevidaya bhavidaya bahuli gadaya yani gadaya vadu gadaya anundidaya parijitaya susamaradaya iming eka tasani sangsa pariganga di dhammavuja bhagavang adamanandi Bhikkhu bhagavato pasidang abhinandunding Chayasana gadam buddha jedava marang savang anang jadu saja sabang rasang ye viving sunara sabang tanhang garadayo buddhang adavi sarina yaga sabi badidita mai ngang ma da ge de munin sarasi se badidito mai ngang Bundum Dhammo Davilo Jani Sangho Badidito Mai Hang Urisa Bakunagaru Adaye Ming Anurudo Sari Buddho Jadagine Gundan Yubidi Bagasami
โมกาลัมโนจาวามะเกตากิเนสวะเนมาหังอาสุงอานันตรังหุโลกาสะโบยะมังอานาโมงอุบาสุงวามาสุตะเกเกสะตุปิติปะกะสะมิงสุริโยวะบะบังกะโรนิสินโนสิริสัมปันโนสุปิโตมุนิปุงกะโวกุมารกาสะปุติโรมหิสิจิตวาดะกุสุมังหังวะดานินิจังปฏิตาสิกุนัมกะโรปุญญังอังกุลิมาโลจาอุบาลีนันตสิวะลิติระปัญจเมจาดานาลาติทิลากามะมะสิสาสิติมังอาติราวิจิตาจินาสาวกังนิติสิติมังอาติราจิตาวันโดจินาราสาจลันดาสิลติจินังกัมมังกิสุสังติตาราดานังบุราดวงอาสิตากินิมิตาสุตากังตาจากังปะยะดวงอาสิวามิอังกุลิมาลกังกันนโมระปริตัญญังอาดานาดิยสุตากังอากาเสจตันนังอาสิเสสะภะการะสังติตาจินานานาวรสังยุตสาดาภะการะลังกดาวาดาปิตาริสังจาดาภะอิราจาตุปาดวังอเสสะวินายังยันตุอนันตจินติจสาวาสตุเมสกิเจนะสตาสัมบุตปัญจริเจนะปะชรามาจามิวิหารันตังมังเอตาเลสตาบาลิงตุมังสาปิเตมังอาบุริสัมสปะอิเจวะมันโตสุกุโตสุราโกจินานุภาเวนะจิตุภาดาวุธัมมะนุภาเวนะจิตาริสังโฆสังฆานุภาเวนะจิตันตรายโยสาธัมมานุภาวะบาลิโดจารามิชินาปัญจริติติยันตุนิมิตังวะมังกลัญจโยจามนาบุสกุณาสสาตุบาบากังโหตุสุปินังกังนะพุทธานุภาเวนะวินาสเมนตุยันตุนิมิตังวะมังกลัญจโยจามนาบุสกุณาสสาตุบาบากังโหตุสุปินังกังนะดัมมานุภาเวนะวินาสเมนตุยันตุนิมิตังอวมังกลัญจโยจามนาบุสกุณาสสาตุบาบากังโหตุสุปินังกังตังสังฆานุภาเวนะวินาสเมนตุดุกาปตาจนินดุกาเวปตาจนิปายาสุกาปตาจนินสุกังหุนตุสัพพิปิปานิโนเอตาวตาจามิสังปตังปุญญสังปตังสัพพิเทวานุโมทันตุสัพพะสัมปติสิทธิยาดานังนาดันตุสัตยสีลังรักขังตุสัพพตาภาวนาปิระดังหุนตุกัจจันตุเทวตากัตถาสัพเพบุตตาบลาบาตาบาเจฆานังจะยังบาลังอรหังดานังจะเทเจนรักขังบันดามิสัพพะสุวดุสาปมังกลังรากังดุสาปเทวดาสาปบุตตานุภาเวนะธัมมานุภาเวนะสังฆานุภาเวนะสดาสุทิภาวันตุเต
Meditate in the emptiness of light. All merits shed, multiplying into one another, wiping out all concepts of separation. Release all your atoms into space, transforming into Buddha fields. Let the Buddhas take over. All beings liberated, all atoms reflecting the Pure Lens, multiple Pure Lens, infinite Pure Lens. Have every being smiling happily. Be thankful to dispel the seed and the energies of the hungry ghost. Warning, reminding all of them of their Buddha nature. Instantaneously, transform into enlightened beings and join the Buddhas in the Pure Lands. Every Buddha and Bodhisattva shines their light into your being, deep into your unconscious mind, pulling out your fears, your negative karma, all your guilt, your regrets, revealing them, zapping them away with light. Cutting into your ego, and hooking it all the way up into the Pure Lands to be liberated and transformed. We vibrate in the Heart Sutra. Every karmic knot of defilements that is being hooked up as they explode into light, so does the relative planetary influence get severed, broken, and explode into light. As within, so all around. As you practice, so does your ancestors and all beings. As the universe transforms and the planetary energies transform, so do you gain liberation, freedom from defilements, delusions, fear, and guilt, and ignorance. The third Heart Sutra, let it be one of restoration, renewal, blessing. The Dharma rains down freely. As though petals are raining down. Your breath. Let go of your practice, expansion, openness. Letting go, letting go, letting go. Gati gati, parangati, parasamgati, bodhisoha. Gati gati, paragati, parasamgati, bodhisoha. Gati gati, paragati, parasamgati, bodhisoha. Send out your merits with your conscious mind to all beings, starting from your parents, your loved ones, to your teachers. all beings seen and unseen, karmic debtors, karmic creditors, all realms. And they gain liberation, protection with the merits generated by your practice in your virtuous actions, virtuous speech, and virtuous thoughts multiply into limitless beings. And they gain the threefold happiness. May they be guided to the path of liberation, of enlightenment, of wisdom. Mina Punya Kamina Umba Jaya Kununtaranga Jari Upaka Raja Mada Bida Jaya Daga Piyama Mangsuriyo Chandi Maharaja Guna Vandana Rabija Brahma Mara Inda Jadulu Kavala Jadeva Daya Mumita Manusa Jama Jada Viri Kabija Sabe Sada Suki Hundu Punyani Bhagavani Me Suganja Denundu Vidang Babeta Womadang Imina Punya Kamina Imina Udisinacha Kipa Hangsula Vijiva Danhu Padana Chedanang Yesandani Hinna Dhammayavani Bana Duma Mangna Sandu Sabada Yeva Yada Jadu Pavi Pavi Ujuji Dangsadi Panya Sandi Guvirya Mina Marala Bandunuka Sankadunja Viri Sumi Udadi Bavaro Nadu Dhammo Nadu Varu Dhammo Nadu Vajika Budoja Sangu Nadu Daru Mamang Deso Dhamanu Bhavi Namaro Gansala Banduma Manjamare Shine Nado Bado Sambudi Munda Mangjadu Sajambagan Sinsi Manghavi Rang Sababude Namami Hangede Nasabi Mara Palayandu Hang no Yadinang Hodu Sugida Hundu Yadayung Hang no Yadinang Hodu Sugida Hundu Yadayung Hang no Yadinang Hodu Sugida Hundu Yadayung Sabe Sada Vera Hundu Sabe Sada Payapaja Hundu Sabe Sada Niga Hundu Sabe Sada Sukiyata Nang Harandu Kadang Punyang Palang Maing Hang Sabe Bagi Bhavantu Te Namo Sikado Namo Sikado Namo Sikado Namo Sikado. Whatever thoughts, whatever beings appears in your mind, whoever appears in your mind, your merit infuses into them and they get liberated instantaneously. And place your palms together and receive the blessing. Mahakarunika Nado Hidaya Sapapani Nang Puritawa Baramin Sababado Sambodhi Muttamang Edena Sachawa Jena Hotute Jayamangalang Chayando Bodhiya Mule Sakayanang Nandi Watano Ewang Tawang Vichayo Hohi Jaya Sujaya Mangalaya Prajata Balang Kisi Sepati Bukari Viseki Sababuthanang Akabado Pamudari Sunakatang Sumangalang Subapatang Suhutitang Sukanu Sumuhutu Jasuvitang Brahmachari Subatakinang Kaya Kangmang Waja Kangmang Patakinang Patakinang Mano Kangmang Panidite Patakina Patakina Yakana Mandate Patakine Putangkum Tamangkang Sangkang Raksa di Paramindating Sanamo Putaya Putana Mansangam Putana Mansangam Putana Masakana Patana Muputana Mitamu Kuruna Puprani Da Indian Sabasatuvina Santi Biudem Sanang Di Promona Mutamo Bionakasu Bananang Bilindriang Namamihang Nama Putaya Nama Patacha Pakasa Nama Putang Kataki Ganangan and Yedogoro Magan and Yanagakas and Yanaganan Magadaga Paracasete 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 Paracasiti Caracaseta Pacaracasiti Bakatigi de Caracasiti Jete Caracas, Tokoro home, Bakating and Nakataki de Caracasiti Tokoroko home. พุทธังคลากะธรรมังคลากะสังฆังคลากะมหาอุปจงวินดาสันติขาจะอมุมหิโอกาสิทธิทาหินะโมอนาโพธิพังกลาลาภิโมนังภวังกลาจักขันติปารามิตาโสภากินติเกนโกโรโกหุมมะกาสิติกะระกาสิติสินิเกเนกะนะกะทากาสันตะกะนิเกนะจันตะกะนะกะนิเกนะกะนะกะนิเกนะกะนะหุมมะกะนะนิเกนะกะนะกะนิเกนะกะนะกะนิเกนะกะนะกะมะกะนะกะนิเกนะกะนะกะสันติกะนะกะนะกะมะกะนะกะสินจินะกะนะกะสิกะตะกะระกะสิติเกโอหุมปะกะติกิSetikin nekitikin uni na anoni ono ko umaninga na kaningin na karaga setikin nga taka tiki taka humbagini ani ko ninga nakatikin ko uninga nakapagatikin katikin na kana uninga no umayini kiti 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 ani umat ni katako humbagin na katakataka ko buko setikin na kaninga dokolo ko pagasiti kumbagan na no maninga takadiki saninga naga la di ubigida ninga na ninga dukuruko ura irupe dengine ni saninga naga taki dukuruko uninga ninga maki saninga naga minga naga no maga ninga takara bakasiti Nakujurete katana rasana puta parasiti akasiti pakasiti masasita soha nakujurete katana rasana puta parasiti akasiti parasiti so nakujurete katana naka tekisto to ganinga na siti ragati gine garaka sutiki nikite na bakatiki Sandi naka tako ninga naka naka sutiki ninga naka 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 gere gere kana ninga naka no mangana go joda kana ninga naka sutiki naka no mangana ninga naka naka sutiki naka ninga Sandi naka toko naka sambure naka taka naka ninga naka sutiki ninga naka mangana ninga naka sutiki ko pakatiki naka sutiki ko toko Something nakataka ninga naka ninga ninga naka mangana naka ninga naka sutiki naka mangana ninga naka sutiki naka mangana ninga naka sutiki Soniga naga 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 no go ta ka ni ge naga 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 ni ge naga no manga ni ge naga 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 ni ge no manga na ni naga 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 no manga naga 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 ni ge naga 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 boga naga naga sa naga ni naga naga ni ge naga naga sa naga naga sa ni ge naga naga ni ge naga 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 manga naga naga ni ge naga 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 manga sa de naga So homage to the closing homage. Just thinking of the triple gems. Okasawantami pande chidiyang sabang sabatani suparitang saririkadatu mahaboding budarupang sakalang sata kaya sawaya samana wantami nidasakade jani asani dani kamnisha sabata okasawantami pande saparwana kamdega maya katang punyang samina mutu tapang samina katang punyang mayhang dada bang sadu 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 anumodhami arahang samma sambuddhu bhagawang udang bhagawandang abhivademi Suangandum Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Subhadipannum Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sanghang Namami
Manda Bidure Namami Acharya Namami. Okay, make your aspirations and then bow 3 times in your own. Wish everyone wellness, good health, safety, happiness, and to have a clear mind at all times. And may all obstacles and mental obscurations be dispelled without trace, so that you can all go on living happily, mindfully, with no more obstacles. May all your worldly paths be smooth, so that you can have the good conditions to make progress on your spiritual journeys.